You are now tuning in to another episode of the DMB podcast. I am your host, Camilo Salamander, and my co-host, KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit. And Salamander, bro. 1K. Can you believe it?
We did it. We did it.
Man, you told me to be patient. You said it's alright. You're gonna experience the highs and the lows. And I was losing faith a little bit, but I just believed with what you said, and here we are. How are you feeling about the growth of the channel before we jump into the 1K special?
I love it. I like to thank all of the day ones who've been here since the beginning, and even the new ones who just came across the channel and like what they see. We just got some bigger and greater things to give y'all.
Love it. From what he said to me, thank you all so very much. I know I'm the AEW mark to everybody else, but I do appreciate the love that we get every video, all the comments, and all the likes and everything. So we definitely appreciate it. Jumping into the 1K special, Salamander, we asked some of our subscribers to send us random topics to talk about. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I love every single one that we got. Let's jump right into it with the first one. First one comes from Kyle O'Connor. What can WWE do to change up their tag team division?
So one thing that I would do is actually make good tag teams instead of just throwing random people together. People who actually had chemistry. That's one thing. Now, you can throw some people together and it works. It's been proven before. But it's not necessarily right all the time. Especially, I think the men's side is decent, but they really need to work on the women's side of the tags because that is horrible right now. And the way to do that is, just naturally create a tag team, give them time on TV, and just let them do them. It's all about the booking. It's all about the storyline. You get them the correct booking, the correct storyline, you can make it work. It's just the thing is they don't care about tags. And WWE tag, like anything tag team related is at the bottom of their list. That's the thing they least care about. They'd rather give you a 6-man elimination match besides a tag team. They don't like tags at all. So it makes sense why the tag team division is horrible right now. So that's mainly the main thing. You just get them. It's all about the patience, giving them the correct patience, booking. Take your time into these things, giving us the taking your time with everything. You could tell the right story. They did it with Sheamus and Cesaro. Like who would know that would have made a good tag? They just put two random people together. But it was the chemistry. That's what I mean. You get two people that got good chemistry, you can make a tag. You can make the perfect tag team out of that. And then when you do it, actually give them, when they're on TV, give them time as if you really care. If you care about the tag team titles, you care about your tag team division. That's how you change it all up. They don't do that. They go out there, get them 5 minutes, and that's it. Like a 3-hour show. You got one tag team match, and that's it. They don't care.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said, and I want to add one thing on top of that. 2 things, actually. One, believe in the tag team that you already have, and you don't have to do the Sheamus and Cesaro type of tag team. Now, don't get me wrong, when it hits, but I think that's where they started their downfall because there were actual tag teams coming in that they just didn't feel was getting over from two random people. So now they're stuck to where they have to put two random people together and pray that it works, a la Chad Gable and Otis. It works though. That's an example where it's successful. But how many times, especially in the past 3 to 5 years, where they put two random people together, tried to form that tag team, and it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could really say Retribution was the for real the last time where they just put random people together, trying to make like a faction, a tag, and it just didn't work. Like when WWE gets it right, it's a home run. But too many times they've gotten it wrong. And the other point is have the matches mean something. Matches need to have stakes. And I might shit on WWE for their championship eliminator match, or I'm sorry, a championship contenders match. I might shit on it for that, but I actually like it in a sense because it gives the matches stakes. The only problem is that in AEW, when they do an elimination match against the champion always wins except for one time, and that was used to progress the storyline. How many times have we seen it here in just the past 3 to 5 months where they do that championship contenders match and the champion was pinned? And I can point straight to the WWE Women's Tag Team Division alone. Natalya and Tamina have been defeated 3 times against Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart in championship contenders matches. Apollo Crews took a pinfall loss in a championship contenders match. Do you see the problem here, Salamander?
That's the WWE way. The WWE way is if it's a go home show, and let's say Apollo Crews is going up against Kevin Owens, and for at the pay-per-view for the title. If it's the go home show and they put them up against each other, Kevin Owens gonna win, and they just meaning that Apollo Crews is gonna win at the pay-per-view. That's the WWE way, and that's typically what that means when they do that. And it's about time for them to give that up, because it do make your champion look weak, and it kind of demolish the prestige of the title. Because your champion should not lose. The only time I believe the champion should lose when he's dropping the title. That's it. Because you champion for a reason. That means you better than everybody else. So you shouldn't be losing that damn easy. Especially to nobodies.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, it is not hard, bro, because when I look at the tag team division, I'm looking at a RK Bro. And a lot of people don't like AJ and Omos, but I actually like AJ and Omos. I like their dynamic. I like the fact that AJ Styles, who we know is really rubbing off on Omos. And I can even go for the Viking Raiders every now and again. The New Day have barely been on TV. You have the tag teams to have a stacked tag division. I want to throw this at you. What if we just combine the tag divisions, but we instead of calling it the wild card rule, we just combine the tag team divisions, and the tag teams can go back and forth between Raw and SmackDown because they are combined tag team champions. You get more matches that way.
Mm-hmm.
And who's to say that every week a Raw tag team has to be on SmackDown? Who's to say that every week a SmackDown tag team has to be on Raw? Just combine the divisions, and if you want to give that type of match some type of stakes, then we can do that.
That's true.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you.
I'll just say that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, let's add some stakes to these tag team matches. Don't just give me AJ versus Omos at the pay-per-view. Don't give me AJ and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. Then turn around Monday night and put them in a 6-man tag just for them to get a win. Just for the Viking Raiders to get a win. Like, that doesn't make any sense. AJ and Omos just won. So why are we even giving any type of variation of those two in the same ring again? The tag team champions have already showed you that they handled that team. So what are we doing?
Right.
That was a very good one. Next one is from Sky Harris. What about the women's division on both shows?
That ties into what I was saying with the tag division. They need to really give these women some time. Actually believe in the women that you have. Instead of like there should be no reason why Shayna Baszler is looking like a joke. Well, NXT, she was demolishing everyone. Same with Asuka, same with everybody. Give women wrestling a chance. That's what they need to do. The only time women's wrestling was actually taken serious was during the beginning of the women's revolution. That's like the last time I can really recall them taking it serious. And then when Becky Lynch got pregnant, during that whole time they was taking it serious, but not really, because it was only like the same 4 women we were seeing, which was Bayley, 4 or 5 women. It was Bayley, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey. That was it. We were seeing the same women. So, and Charlotte, if I didn't say her already, but we were seeing the same women over and over and over. So, but what they got so many other women that can actually fit on there, that can actually do good and actually become a champion and give us what we've been asking for, but they don't believe in them to even get them a shot on TV that's more than 10 minutes. You feel me? Like, if you on Raw and y'all got a 3-hour show, you want to give the women 10 minutes of television time, and that's how can we take that, the whole women's division, serious, and you giving the women's division 10 minutes tops, and that's including the singles, the Raw women's title and the tag title. That's including both of them, that you give a total of 10 minutes of on a 3-hour show. So I mean, it's just all about how you treat your division. You treat your division with care and prestige, it's gonna come, it's gonna follow, it's gonna show. You just gotta treat everything as if you care. You treat everything as if you care, it's gonna show. It's gonna show in the booking, it's gonna show in the writing, and I best believe the wrestlers, they're gonna wrestle better because they feel like they actually getting taken care of. They feel like they actually are they feel like they actually mean something. So they're gonna be more serious on certain things. They're gonna take their gimmicks more serious and so forth and so forth. But if you give them bullshit ass storylines and gimmicks and whatever and just showing them you don't care, they're gonna show you they don't care. Because if you show me you don't care, why would I go out there giving this my all and you're not even gonna, you just gonna ignore it? You probably ain't even watching it. You probably ain't even paying attention to it backstage. That's probably what it was. They probably just like go out there and they ain't even paying attention to it for real. Because there's so many women that could get pushed that they actually deserve to be there at the top, but they just don't do it. They just don't.
And you know what's crazy? Everything that you just said is only on Monday Night Raw. Allow me to explain Friday Night Smackdown. I'm so glad that you went into just that rant on Raw, because I thought you was going to cross over to Smackdown. But I'm glad you left it for me, because I got some issues I still need to vent since SummerSlam. Ladies and gentlemen, Salamander just gave you an excellent explanation on why the Raw Women's Division is as bad as it is. Let me tell you why SmackDown is all the same. You had a prominent African-American champion, the EST of WWE, Miss Bianca Belair, running roughshod over the SmackDown heel division. Salamander, she put away Sasha Banks. Let me backtrack. She won the Royal Rumble in 2021. She then proceeded to send Sasha Banks home in an epic WrestleMania main event 5-star classic with Sasha Banks. Goes on to defeat Bayley in a tremendous Hell in a Cell match, to decent TV defenses against Carmella, to SummerSlam promoting the rematch that was going to set the wrestling world on fire between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Keep promoting it up until the time that Sasha Banks is set to make her appearance. Says she's not able to be there, bring out Becky Lynch, and we proceed to get the 26-second burial of a lifetime. That is how they treat the Smackdown Women's Championship. It is nothing but a prop to them. They had a prominent African-American champion. She gets squashed to the misreturning Becky Lynch. Kofi Kingston was going on a WWE title run that I thought was pretty good, putting away the likes of Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens. He took it off of Daniel Bryan, to getting squashed by Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds for a shock title change on the debut on Fox.
They let you know that they didn't really care. They just put the belt on them because of what was going on at the time of them saying, like, you know, it was never really a fully black WWE champion. So they was just like, all right, we give it to Kofi. Let him hold it until we switched over to Fox. That's how I seen it. That they ain't really, that it wasn't really their main focus anyway. He was just a transitional champion.
Oh, but Salamander, it gets so much worse because I know some people will be like, well, that's just Bianca. Who else did they do something like that to? Salamander, let me introduce you to Miss Zelina Vega, who was brought back into the company under false narratives that a Mr. Tommy End would still be with the company, terminated as soon as Zelina Vega hit the dotted line, and hasn't won a match since she's been back. That's what they think of the women's division. I don't want to say that it comes off a tad bit racist.
It kind of does, though. If you put it into that perspective, it kind of does. Because, like, what they do to these black champions, they won't never do to someone who look like John Cena or someone who's Drew McIntyre or somebody like that. But they'll do it to, you know, Kofi Kingston. So, but thankfully, the only one that we had so far that had a dominant run and is not getting made look like a fool, not all the time, is the Almighty. Even though he loses matches sometimes that he shouldn't lose, but his whole run as champion is good. It's excellent. So that's the only one that we really got that we can say is not, that they're not BSing with. Why? Because he got the look. He got the beefy look that Vince McMahon be having orgasms over. He got that look. If Kofi had that look, Kofi probably would have held the champion longer. He probably wouldn't even drop it to Brock. We all know Vince McMahon love them beefy guys.
Yeah, you never lied. That is true. That is true. But to get back to the women's division, it's amazing how we just broke down the problems within both shows' division. It's right there in front of them, and I think Vince just don't care. And I'm not even saying that the Bianca title change was bad. That goes to show that they were going to do a title change anyway. We could have given them a 15-minute classic. Because you know what the problem is? It was made for Becky Lynch to turn heel, but I don't hear heel reactions for Becky Lynch. You know what I hear? I hear returning Stone Cold Steve Austin baby face feels, vibes. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing boos. I'm hearing cheers. Every time her music hits, they go up in a frenzy. I thought she was supposed to be heel, Salamander. She just beat Bianca Belair in 26 seconds. What am I seeing?
She's the modern day Stone Cold. You know, people, even when Stone Cold turned heel, they was hurt, but they wasn't really that hurt. Because she that's who she is. Ever since she became the man, that's who she is. She's just gonna get cheers no matter what. No matter what segment you put her in, she's gonna get over and stuff. So I mean, it just don't, she's just, that's what she is. She's just the modern day Stone Cold. Like, no matter what she do, everything gets over. Stone Cold got what over? Becky Lynch, she's the female Stone Cold. She's the hottest wrestler right now. Right, yeah, she is. She is. I can't admit that.
Oh, but Salamander, remember when we did our list? You said, nah, I can't give it to Becky Lynch. She ain't been on television. I told you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Back on television, she had all that praise and all them cheers. So that's what I would like to see. I ain't want to see people cheering her, and I ain't seen her in like 17 months. Now that I see her on TV, now she could be on that list because she been on there.
Oh my gosh! I told you this is what it was gonna be. I told you. She was the most over woman while breastfeeding. She was at home breastfeeding. They chanted Becky. Come on now, bro. She was at home breastfeeding her beautiful baby, and is the most over woman in any show.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, that's the problem with the women's division. Moving on to the next one. I don't agree with this, but I appreciate you leaving the comment so we can talk about it because I understand why people might feel this way. Kimberly Hart sends in why Vince needs to retire.
Shit, the main thing is because his booking. We all, man, how many times have we heard, you know, Raw feel like it's been written last minute, or it felt like they was doing things on the fly? We heard that so many times, and how many times has it came out that an hour or 2 hours before the show started, Vince McMahon ripped up the whole script of the show? Like, I don't know if he got Alzheimer's or he's just going through his old man stuff, but it's like, my guy, you gotta chill because you are making your company like dip down. That gonna go back to how y'all was at the beginning of 1996 when y'all was on the verge of bankruptcy and everything, and the only person that got y'all over that hump was Stone Cold. That's what they booking themselves back into when WCW was taking over everything, and then it wasn't until the Vince McMahon Stone Cold feud actually got them over. That's actually, and the intents and stuff that they were doing with DX to come out every week and just figure out what they can do, something more crazy that they did last week and stuff. That's what they're gonna end up having to do. They're gonna end up having to force doing this, all this other unnecessary stuff just to get their viewers back, because people are not gonna want to tune into that. People are not gonna want to keep watching that stuff if you showing them that you don't care. The people who we need to see get pushed, not getting pushed, they're getting buried. Actually, you releasing people who were just on TV last week, trying to make budget cuts, but you releasing the wrong people, but not releasing the people that you ain't used in like 2 years. It don't make sense. Shit, I was watching Rampage yesterday. And my guy, that motherfucking Malachi Black, I just looked at him and I was like, man, if he would have stayed with WWE and WWE actually gave him the time of day for him to actually do some shit, he could be a motherfucking star.
Salamander, I told you when he debuted that AEW made that boy look like a star in 5 minutes.
Yes.
It took 5 minutes. That's all it took. He knocked out Cody in 5 minutes.
I love the story that they was telling. Like, it was like, boom, he beefing with Cody Group. The dude came out. He was fighting him, but it was like he wasn't fighting him to win. He just wanted to send a message. So he was just basically whooping his ass. Grabbed the chair, laid it next to him, told him to hit him with it, turn his back, and then hit him with the black mask.
Yo, that black mask was on the button.
Yes.
But they got the right camera angle because his foot got stuck. You know how normally he followed through? His foot got stuck on his chin.
Yes.
His chin stopped the whole momentum.
And then afterwards, just sat there and chill with his foot on his face. WWE is not doing that type of stuff like that. Then on top of that, I seen a promo with Eddie Kingston. And he said bullshit. He said something, these nuts. I was like, what the fuck? They are cutting promos like this. WWE would never. They always be bleeping they stuff out. This is why WWE is going to trap themselves. They claim they're not in competition with AEW, but they going to end up trapping themselves into it because all they had to do was keep doing them and let AEW be in their own lane. But instead, you can tell that they are trying to make certain moves to compete with them, and it's causing them to debuckle because they are trying to compete with them silently, and it's fucking them up because WWE would never go back to making promos like that. Why? Because they got too many kids watching them. AEW had kids watching them too, but goddamn, it's different. You can tell the difference. Like, to me, there's no comparison. There's no comparison to AEW or WWE. They both is in their own lanes. WWE is like Nickelodeon and AEW is like MTV. Like, WWE is like free TV and AEW is cable TV. Like, you'll see things on cable TV you will never see on free TV. That's how WWE is. Like, well, I seen that yesterday. I was just like, I was dozing off, but that the promo kind of woke me up. It kind of made me sit there like, hold on, I'm gonna sit and watch this whole hour for real. Cause it kind of woke me up. Cause I was like, wow, I did not expect for them to do stuff like this. I just thought it was every now and then, like that Jade Cargill, like she just said it. I thought it was every now and then, but nah, they really coming out there cutting promos like it's nothing and stuff. And that's what WWE, they need to. I think what they really need to do, they need to take a step back, figure out what's going on, what they need to change. And the main thing that they need to change, I believe, that will actually make the whole programming different is promos. You go out there and give people 3 things. I don't care what you say, as long as you get boom, boom, boom across, you good. They proved it on WrestleMania where we had a delay. All those are unscripted promos, and all of those is excellent. You do that more, you got yourself a show. Stop feeding people lines. That stuff, it sounds, don't nobody talk like that. Don't nobody think like that. So it kind of really comes off as corny at the end of the day. So that's what they really need to stop doing. These are professional athletes. Let them be professional, do their jobs. Stop telling them what to say, word from word. That's what they need to do. I think that's the main thing. If you're going to take it step by step, start with the promos. And stop fucking giving us rematches. We seen the shit last week. We don't need to see the shit again for about another 6 weeks. They give us the same show for a whole month and talk about it's different because he won this time instead of losing. That's it. I think they do that, start giving us rematches and change up their promos, you got yourself a show.
I'm glad that you were watching Rampage. Did you see the Darby Allin match?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes. Yeah, I'll be tuning in. I'm waiting for a CM Punk match. I want to see if he's rusty or if he looked like he never stopped. That's what I'm looking forward to. So we about to see. It's only one more day.
Yeah, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a decent pay-per-view. I don't think it's gonna be a home run like everybody else is suggesting. I think it'll do its job. everything you said is correct, but I actually want to approach it from a different perspective. I don't think that Vince needs to retire. I can understand why people would say that with everything Salamander just said. I think Vince needs less yes man. He needs people who are going to tell him no, come back with something better, and not agree. Now, with that being said, Vince will always get the final say, but I do believe you need people in your camp that will say, Vince, this ain't going to work. This is going to really confuse the viewership, and they're going to ask questions on why, if that person lost last week, why are we giving them a win this week? It's okay for somebody to lose multiple matches in convincing fashion. It just goes to show that there are levels to this. And even though we know that there are levels to this, there are the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley levels and the head of the table Roman Reigns levels. But what's really underneath them? And I can't really tell. Is AJ better than Randy? Or is Randy better than AJ? Well, where does Matt Riddle fall into this? You know, I can't tell who is who right underneath that main event scene, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They all just sit there and float together. But Sheamus is in like the upper middle card, but he's basically in the mid card feuding with the United States champion Damian Priest, but so is Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre is the number one babyface on the Raw brand, so why is he in the mid card? You see my confusion?
I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things that WWE. This is the main reason why Vince either need to retire or just take a step back, is because one. Last week, I swore on everything we were supposed to get Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. Why did we get a fucking triple threat for the title, for the U.S. title? Why couldn't they, like you said on the review, why couldn't they give us Sheamus versus Bobby, Drew versus Damian Priest? I swore I thought that's what it was supposed to be. What happened to John Morrison versus Miz? Like this stuff, like you promoting these matches but changing them last minute. That's why your programming is going downhill. And then you giving us matches that we already fucking saw. You're giving us promising matches that they look like they're gonna be good, just to replace some of the matches we saw like 2 weeks ago. Why?
You know what was crazy? That Monday Night Raw actually had a great pace about it. Even because the show kind of felt fresh, but everything surrounding the two highlights were just god awful. And I'm like, God, if you just put a somewhat decent show around this is like a 6. This is a 6 out of 10 Raw. If you put some decent stuff behind it, you could have given me a Duke drop squash against Eva Marie. You could have had Shayna Baszler get a fucking win since February. And I was even okay with the Nia and Charlotte shoot fight because I felt like it blurred the lines very good. But the rest of the show was just god awful.
Man.
Like I said, I don't think Vince needs to retire. I just think he needs less yes men around him. He needs people who are going to challenge him to write a better show. But that also goes to the writing team. What are they bringing Vince that he's saying no, and then he's coming up with this shit? Like, who's really the problem? Is it the writing team or is it Vince?
I think it's both. It's a mixture of both. Like you said, they got too many yes men. I guarantee they ain't got nobody in there that's actually telling Vince, like, no, we don't need to do that because this is why we having the results that we having now. I don't think they have enough people doing that. I think it's like, boom, they come with the script. Here you go, Vince. And he look at it, nah, we gonna change it. And they just like, all right. but they're not saying nothing. That's why I really think, because, like I said so many times, they did all of this stuff before. They did it all before. It was proven they can give us a A1 show, a dominant show, Raw and SmackDown. They did it so many times before in the past. It's like they lost that pedal. They got so used to being the only one, the number one company at the top, where they can just give us bullshit. And now that we got another company that's in as wrestlers will actually want to wrestle to, who actually listen to their fans and actually giving us the products that we want, they panicking. And that's what it is.
Definitely agree. Next one comes from Sam Morgan. What makes WWE boring?
The booking. Plain and simple. The booking, the rematches, the booking, the promos, the booking, the booking. That's really it. Just the booking. Shit.
So I just want to make sure I understand. It's the booking.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
The booking. Nah, that's really it. That's it, man. Like, you give us proper booking and stuff. That's it. Like, bro, there should be no reason why we had Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley in a feud for 6 months, and they face each other literally every other week that whole 6 months. The booking, that's horrible. Why Drew McIntyre kept being the number one contender? Boy, you lost 4 times, got put to sleep twice. Give up. Hey, why y'all keep pushing this mug, bruh? Like, put somebody else. It was horrible. Like, you could, especially during the pandemic, you could tell when they was in the Thunderdome and all that, they was running out of ideas. They was just like, man, forget it. We'll start over when we get fans in. Just keep giving them the same shit, but change one match. That's how they was doing. It was horrible. It was horrible. They didn't know what to do. It was horrible.
Definitely going to echo everything Salamander said. It is indeed the booking. It goes deeper than that. It's the inability to write a decent show. It's the inability to see that your champions mean absolutely nothing. It's everything that has to do with decisions like the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley taking a clean pinfall loss to Xavier Woods. It goes into Karrion Kross losing to Jeff Hardy in 1:30 while the babyface Jeff Hardy uses the ropes. To an undefeated NXT champion Karrion Kross. It goes to Apollo Crews losing multiple times as the Intercontinental Champion. Surprisingly, they haven't gotten Roman wrong. But I think that's because Paul Heyman has his hand in the pot. It goes to Bianca Belair losing in 26 seconds to Becky Lynch. Why do your champions lose? Why should I care about a losing champion? If you're losing, you shouldn't be champion.
Yes.
It goes that you have people on the roster like Shayna Baszler who can't win a match, a singles match. She hasn't won a singles match since February. But yet Eva Marie is taking up precious time. There's a superhero, there's almost a superhero cosplaying as a superhero. The Queen just took a pinfall loss to Nia Jax. She almost injured the Queen not once, but twice.
That goes to show you they released Eva Marie Because she didn't have no chemistry. She wasn't charismatic. She didn't have no charisma. None of that. And she couldn't wrestle. During her off time, she was in TV shows a little bit, movies or whatever, working out. They hired her back because she's improved. Just to hire her back and come back and do the same shit she did in 2014, which is can't wrestle. She just sit there. She's just a pretty face on TV. That's it. But she ain't improved shit. What the fuck did you improve during this time you was off? Your acting? No, because it's still horrible. Your selling? No, it's still horrible. They still ain't fucking explain why she was able to touch Lily and ain't nothing happened to her. What the fuck is that about?
I told you, Salamander, she's too pretty for Lily to possess.
That's the theory, but WWE never confirmed it. It's gonna be like who threw the pie at Kevin Owens. You
don't think it was confirmed when Lily the doll controlled Nia Jax? She controlled Doudrop. No. Yes, she couldn't control Eva Marie. I'm telling you, Eva Marie is too pretty for Lily to control.
It don't make sense. It's stupid. You basically telling everybody they ugly.
I just find it
ugly as hell. That's what they saying.
No, I just find it coincidental that both of those women are a little bit bigger in stature. And it kind of comes off as body shaming to me.
Well, we all keeping it real. Nia Jax, she's just amazing. I would just like to say that.
I love Miss Nia Jax. Nia Jax is one of my favorite women's wrestlers on either show. So, I'm always going to ride with Nia Jax. Now, I will be a unbiased Nia Jax fan and say she's dangerous. She's a dangerous worker.
But is she dangerous because she don't know what she's doing? Or is she dangerous because she's bigger than everyone? So it's kind of like, they can't, that's like you wrestling Mark Henry and you like the Hurricane. So it's bound you're going to get hurt.
I think it's a mixture of both. I think there are opponents who she's never should have been in a ring with, a la Kairi Sane. But some of the other ones, it's like she doesn't know what she's doing. I don't believe she should have ever been in a ring with Kairi Sane. That is just accidents waiting to happen because you don't want Nia Jax to make it look fake. So she's going to have to put her all into it. Kairi Sane,
she got to sell.
She got to sell.
She's small, so you expect for Nia Jax to toss her around. So when she talks her around, Kairi Sane, she got to do what she do. So like I said, is it really because she don't know what she's doing, or is it because it's a big size difference and one is like a monster and the other one's small? Like I said, if you got Mark Henry versus the Hurricane, it's bound that the Hurricane's gonna get hurt because Mark Henry got to be the aggressor.
Absolutely. Then that's why I think it was a little bit of both. But it's a little bit of both. But I've seen she's injured Bayley, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, amongst others. She's got a track record, bro. She needs to tone it down some. But even Nia Jax doesn't make WWE interesting, to get back to the question. It's everything that me and Salamander just said that makes WWE boring. There are champions who continue to lose as champions. You can clearly tell who the hierarchy is, but you can't tell who's right underneath them. The fact that they have random people as tag teams. Anything else you want to add other than the booking?
No, sir.
WWE needs to improve the product, and I have no doubt that they will. Next one comes from Tip Johnson. This is actually one of my favorites. Why NXT will be WWE's biggest failure?
The main reason, because of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And the reason why I say that is because it's all known that he's been running NXT for about a year now. Look at NXT 2017, 2018, and look at NXT from 2019 on to now. It's a huge difference. You can tell that Vince took over about a year, almost 2 years ago. That's one. Two, look, he don't care. He even said that he don't want no little, I don't know the correct word, but basically he said he don't want no little ass people on NXT, no little ass veterans. So basically what that tells me is, if you are a wrestler trying to pursue your dreams and you wrestling on the indies, you are not going to get hired by WWE. But if you a motherfucker that ain't never thought about professional wrestling before, you are most likely to get hired than the people who actually have wrestling backgrounds. That don't make no sense. What the hell are they doing? They are going to tear, and the NXT was the promise. It was the future. It was a feature of the future. These are the people who own NXT was supposed to be the new face. NXT was supposed to be like the new OVW that gave us Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin, Batista. That was NXT supposed to be. We supposed to make new stars out of tomorrow. It's not going to be like that. NXT going to be another motherfucking Raw. And they changed the logo. It ain't even the Black and Blue brand anymore. It's the Nickelodeon brand. What the hell? Like, it ain't even the Black and Gold brand. That's what I meant to say, not blue. But it ain't even the Black and Gold brand. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's the rainbow. What the hell? NXT is going to be the biggest downfall because they are going to give us main roster caliber matches that is boring instead of the 20-minute, 30-minute classics that we've been getting on NXT. Even that just shows you the call-ups. Look at the recent call-ups that they've been doing. They ain't been treating... The last call-ups that actually got treated well was fucking... I would say Shinsuke. He was the last call-up that actually got treated well. Until he lost the WWE Championship match. But that whole time he was booked strong. But other than that, that was probably around the time when Vince started to take over NXT. Because ever since then, the call-ups they've been getting buried. Like, what's the point of you getting called up if you're gonna get buried on TV? Like, I was that nigga. I was that dude in NXT, and now I come to Raw, and I'm getting buried. Now I do believe that Adam Cole might leave, because if Vince is taking over NXT, I will go too, because ain't no point. And plus, he ain't trying to let go of his Twitch and stuff too. That's one of the main things too that's gonna tear him down. Like, but it is not 1990 no more. We all know kayfabe is not real and all that stuff. Why are you telling wrestlers they can't have extra things to make extra money? Shit, if I ain't been on TV in about a year, what you mean? Shit, I need people to know I'm still here and stuff. The thing is about WWE, they don't want you to get over. If you get over without them, you're gonna get buried. You better not get over without them. That's the thing. NXT, I'm sorry, but NXT will never be the same. Rest in peace to NXT from 2014 to 2019. That was the best years. The best years is behind us. Triple H and Shawn Michaels to AEW confirmed. It's just horrible.
So, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the reason why NXT will be WWE's biggest failure is because Vince McMahon couldn't leave it alone. So I agree with you as well, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. I'm actually going to look at two wrestlers, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, the lifebloods of NXT. Sometimes you can be in a place too long and you can never really get a full identity change. And I think with those two still on the roster, nobody could really step up to be the new lifeblood of NXT, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do have to tell somebody that they've been there too long. And I understand they might not have wanted to go up to the main roster But Salamander, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think they will be an excellent SmackDown Tag Team Championship team. DIY on SmackDown.
That would
I can
actually
only
be good on and as a tag and singles for real. If
yeah.
you get NXT today, you could go either or with that. But you do it smart. You had them in a tag, tell the perfect story, build the shit up for like 2-3 years, then tell the same story you told the NXT, the breakup.
Except this time Johnny turns on Tommaso
Yes,
and we get heel Johnny.
that's how you do it. But what do we know? We just wrestling marks.
You ain't got a lot to him now. I do feel like I don't think I can write a full show, but I think I can write a segment or two. Just a segment or two.
One thing I learned about wrestling: if you write in wrestling for the week, you already failed. Wrestling is a long-term thing. You gotta write it. You gotta write your storylines for the next year or two. That's how wrestling works.
Makes sense too, because with Vince and Bruce taking over NXT, I don't think there are going to be any more long-term storylines.
Yeah, every rivalry gonna be like 3 months tops.
And that's going to suck because they don't do as many pay-per-views as the main roster. So you're going to be getting a lot of championship matches on television that aren't going to mean that much. Like when you get a championship match on NXT television, it means something. Same way when you get a championship match on AEW, it means something. I will kind of feel that same way about the main roster, but they don't have that many tag teams, and the championship matches they do run, they typically don't live up to the hype because I've already seen the champion get pinned. But I do believe that Triple H needed to get those two off of the roster so we could truly let people thrive in their positions. Not everybody is meant to stay in NXT. Sometimes you do have to send them up to where they need to go, and I do believe they would have been an excellent addition to the tag and singles division of either show. I think they would have had a better run on SmackDown. The other problem, and Salamander, you touched on it for NXT, is the new edict that Vince McMahon said. He said pretty much no short people, no under 6 foot, and 260.
He want to turn everything back to the 1980s. Everybody be built like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and everything. That's what got your ass in trouble the first time. You better stop.
He doesn't know. He doesn't watch the NXT product. I mean, let's face it, it can be bigger than this, than what we're explaining it. We could go to NXT moving to USA and failing to stop the growth and the rise of AEW. And we already saw AEW winning the war on Wednesdays. But then when they went to Tuesdays, that's when we really started to see that AEW was on the rise. And we knew it was only a matter of time before they hit 1 million. I think once Vince saw that NXT lost that, he said, why do I need this brand? Why do I need to pay these people? Well, if I am going to do it, then I'm going to do it my way. And it's sad because I don't think Triple H ever wanted to go against AEW. I think that he respects wrestling so much he would have been okay with AEW staying in their lane, NXT staying in their lane. We don't worry about them. They don't worry about us. But Vince said we got to stifle the growth of the new company. And ultimately, they needed somebody to blame, and it came down on Triple H. And I'm pretty sure there was nothing Triple H can do. I mean, to think his NXT champion just started a program with the returning Samoa Joe, takes a pinfall loss to Jeff Hardy in 90 seconds. How would that make you feel if you were Triple H watching that? Vince McMahon literally saying, fuck you. straight to your face.
Exactly.
And there isn't a thing you can do about it.
Exactly.
Next one comes in from Sydney Lowe. Sydney Lowe wants to know, who do we think is going to be the next group of released superstars?
Oh, okay.
First off, disclaimer: we never want anybody to lose their jobs.
Yes, but the way that WWE is going right now, if you hold a title in WWE, you need to be worried, because basically, how they are releasing people, if like literally, you was just on Smackdown yesterday, they releasing your ass next week. That's how they doing, because it don't make sense. Like that whole shit with Aleister Black, he was on TV. Then it's like they just had to scrap everything that they just did. They just never addressed it. And it don't make sense. They releasing like Braun Strowman. He was just on the pay-per-view. They releasing people who they are literally using on TV not that long ago. They not even releasing the people. They releasing some people, but they're not releasing most people who's just been chilling and stuff. Motherfucking shit. They keeping all the 24/7 shenanigans around, but releasing big talent that we actually need, like the Samoa Joes and stuff. That don't make sense. Thankfully he was signed back, but yeah. Shit, if you got any title right now, you need to be watching your back. That's how I feel. None of this stuff makes sense, and that's how much it don't make sense, because I can see WWE releasing their champions next and just be like, we gonna start over or stuff like that. Don't make sense, but they're gonna release all the champions and give all the belts to Roman and be like, we just gonna start over with him.
So I think that if we are going to break it down just by superstars, Liv Morgan is definitely on the chopping block. I see her going on the next set. Sami Zayn.
See how that don't make sense, because she's getting, it seemed like she receiving a small push, and she's been on TV. Sami Zayn, he was just on TV, but I can see them getting released. That's how much it's not making sense. Why are you not releasing people like Ali? I ain't seen Mustafa Ali in a while.
He's been teaming with Mansoor. They've actually been a high point on Monday Night Raw.
That's bullshit.
You would think it would be bullshit, but they're actually a pretty entertaining tag team with the teacher-student storyline. It's been working out.
I ain't seen R-Truth in a while.
He was just on there with Akira Tozawa in a dog suit.
See?
Chasing Reggie.
Bullshit. Motherfucking Drew Gulak, all them. Like, they ain't releasing them, but they'll release people who was just on TV.
I mean, you gotta have jobbers now.
Yeah, but it don't make sense. You gotta have jobbers, but the jobbers that you got, you ain't used them in like 6 months, but you gonna release the people who you was literally just giving a push to. It don't make sense. All I can say is AEW got a fully stacked roster. They seem like they managing that well.
Don't say that. You know the WWE Shields don't like that. Listen, I can see the Viking Raiders being released too. I can honestly see a couple of the jobbers that you were mentioning getting released. Maybe a Drew Gulak. And you know, it's crazy. I'd love to see Drew Gulak in AEW. Absolutely would love it. You know what's crazy? This is going to be a long shot. I can honestly see them releasing Zelina Vega not too far down the line too.
Yeah, again, she just got signed.
Mm-hmm. I can see them releasing her as well somewhere down the line. Maybe not this next group, but maybe the group after that. I can see her getting released, because I feel like they know she's going to become more of a headache. Don't get me wrong, Zelina Vega is a professional. She goes out there and does it, but you know you know that she's just going to be bothered. And that seems like more of a headache than what WWE would want to be bothered with. If that makes sense.
And once she get released, we already know she going to AEW with her husband.
Oh, bro, we're waiting on the Redeemer, Miro. We're waiting on his double jointed wife to do the splits.
That promo was good though.
Listen, Miro is leaps and bounds better than when he came into WWE to AEW and when he was in WWE as Rusev. If you were to tell me that this Miro was trapped inside of Rusev, I wouldn't believe you. You mean to tell me Miro has been cutting promos like this probably in the mirror since he was in WWE? I didn't think that Miro had that in him.
Yes.
Listen, bro. He serves a vengeful God. And the only time he lays down is after a victory with his hot wife. And we all know CJ Perry is a very beautiful woman. So he ain't lying. She probably do the splits for him every day. That's probably the highlight of every one of his days. Is seeing his wife do the splits. You know, she was doing the splits and making brownies. I saw it on her Instagram. And I don't even have an Instagram. She was doing the splits and making brownies for God's favorite champion. And it's sad because you could have had these two in WWE as this hypersexualized, God-fearing champion. That sounds like an awesome gimmick in WWE, don't it?
Yes. But WWE don't know what to do with good gimmicks. They've been improving with The Fiend. They dropped the ball on that shit. Every good gimmick that they have, they always end up dropping the ball. They don't know what to do. If you got a too good of a gimmick, they panic. Only reason why Roman is good because Paul Heyman got his hand in it. If Paul Heyman's hands wasn't in it, I guarantee you Roman would be like John Cena, just a three move dominant heel. That's it, and that's just a spear, Superman punch, and probably like a spine buster, and call it a day. But the only reason why he's not like that because Paul Heyman got his hands into it. The only thing.
You know what? I would honestly love that type of storytelling in a Roman match. But the opponent would have to be somebody big. Like bigger than him.
Yeah.
To where he would only pull off like, I would say, the sit-out powerbomb. So he would get dominated. He would only go 10 minutes. He would get dominated for like 8 minutes of it. He would get a sit-out powerbomb off the Superman punch and then the spear, but you would space it out over the last like 3 minutes because 7 minutes will be the bigger guy dominating him. I would honestly love to see that Roman win off 3 moves if you do it right.
And we all know they can't do nothing right. If it's gonna be something like that, it's gonna be a Becky Lynch thing, like a 21-second squash match.
Absolutely. Next one comes from D Money. D Money wants to know who should be drafted to each show when the draft comes around.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
Whew. All right, so one, I would like to see all right, we're gonna have to skip that, come back. I gotta think about that one.
Well, how about I do my response first?
Go ahead.
Or do you want to make that into a separate video? But do you want to make it a separate video but still address it now? That way you can really get your thoughts and sink your teeth into it? Or do you just want me to do my response now?
Yeah, go ahead, do yours.
Okay. For one, I want to see Charlotte Flair stay on Raw, but I want Sasha Banks back on Raw. I actually want Sasha Banks face so we can get that great 2016 that 2016 run where Charlotte and Sasha was tearing it up. Give me Sheamus to SmackDown and give me some more Sheamus versus Big E. I don't feel like they did that enough. Seth Rollins and Edge send them back to Raw. Raw can give me back the New Day so we can put them back with Big E. The Street Profits can stay on SmackDown. Give me Bayley on SmackDown. Move Bianca to Raw. Move Rhea to SmackDown because I think she'll thrive better there. The women's tag team championships are going to float between either show, so it doesn't really matter. Give me Damian Priest on SmackDown and Shinsuke Nakamura on Raw. I feel like he would be great over there. I could see him running that United States Championship division as a foreign heel. Maybe get him a Japanese translator. So he speaks Japanese and the translator only speaks in Japanese. So to really get the people to start booing more. Let's see. Naomi's fine on SmackDown. Becky Lynch, I'm going to keep her on SmackDown only because I would love to see heel Becky versus face Bayley. Nia Jax can stay on Raw, but I do want Shayna Baszler on SmackDown. I think that'll be a nice change of pace for her. Then Alexa Bliss can stay on Raw. Eva Marie can stay on Raw. Doudrop can stay on Raw. We'll keep. I already said Damian Priest is. Did I say Damian Priest on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Damian Priest on SmackDown. Shinsuke can go to Raw. One more. I actually want to see Otis and Gable on Raw. For some odd reason, a Chad Gable Otis versus RK Bro, I kind of feel like could be a 4.5 to 5-star match if they do it right. But that's who I should think should be drafted to both shows.
So, me, I would like to see AJ and Omos go to SmackDown. Switch up the tag division up there. Like, what you said, Chad Gable and Otis, I would like to see them go to Raw. Just to swap, just to, give a fresher. Cedric Alexander, SmackDown. I would actually put him in Shelton Benjamin. Keep them as a tag and move them to SmackDown. And that way, they can be a fresh start because that stuff with the Hurt Business kind of messed them up. It kind of messed up their presence on Raw right now. I would like to see. I would like to see Ricochet on SmackDown. I think he'll be if he go to SmackDown, I think he'll be a good mid card that can win the Intercontinental title or the United States. I would like to see both champions switch. I do think if you the king, you deserve to be, on basically the A show, which is Monday Night Raw. It just freshen up the roster more. That's all you need to do. Raw, we using the same people. We using the same people time after time. Charlotte, she can stay on Raw. Alexa can stay on Raw. I would like to see Asuka move back to SmackDown. I would like to see Shayna move. One thing different I would do, I would actually give the titles, the women's tag titles, its own show. So you got a blue title for SmackDown, the red title for Raw. That way you can actually separate the two and stuff and actually make it more interesting. The Street Profits, they cool. Uh, it's nothing really on here though. It's time for some call ups.
I am so glad you said that because that is actually a question for later on.
It's time. Yeah, it's time for some call ups because right now it's nothing that you can really draft over. Like the only ones that I can really see get worthy enough getting drafted over is some people, they ain't been used like that because it could be a new restart. But it's time for some new faces for us to see because they women's division is horrible on both shows, for real. I mean, on both shows they only use the same 5 people and stuff. So it's time for some new faces. It's time.
Definitely agree. Next one comes in from Monique Jones. Who do we want to see get a push?
I would love to see my boy Ricochet get a push. I would love to see Ricochet get one. I would love to see, I think, Shelton Benjamin, not Apollo Crews, but Cedric Alexander could get a push in the tag division. You ain't even got to put the title on them. All you got to do is just have them go out, win the next couple matches and stuff. That's win some matches, some tag matches actually means something. I would love to see Dominic Mysterio get a push. I would love to see Finn Balor finally get a push, a proper push. Ever since he came on the main roster the first time, he had an injury. He ain't never been the same for real. Like he ain't never really got that push that he had.
Before you continue, I want to say this. WWE thinks we are so fucking stupid. So Finn Balor had a championship match last night against Roman. And they kept saying that Finn Balor won the title, had to relinquish it to injury. It's been 5 years since he's been in the picture. No, it hasn't. If I remember correctly, he won against fucking Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship and almost won it. So what the fuck are we talking about on commentary? Don't play me like I'm stupid.
It was mainly because, all right, so that match at SummerSlam between him and Seth Rollins, he got injured, but won the match. Had to relinquish, was gone for like a year, came back. It was in the the Intercontinental and all that stuff picture, ended up working his way back up. But by that time, Brock Lesnar was champion, all that stuff. They didn't want to put the title on Finn right then and there. So they gave him the opportunity, but they knew at the end of the day he wasn't going to win. But then he went back to NXT, did his thing in NXT, came back. It's like he need that chance because it's like y'all pushing everybody else but him there. He had a chance against Brock Lesnar, but to be honest, we all knew he wasn't going to win. We knew WWE was going to keep the belt on Brock. That's what they do. Right now, Brock Lesnar is the safe goat. If you need somebody to hold the belt until you can find somebody that you really want champion, you put it on Brock. That's why they keep calling him back.
I mean, I understand that, but don't insult my intelligence by telling me it's been 5 years since Finn Balor last challenge for the Universal Championship. Like, no, he just had a match against Brock Lesnar.
The last time.
Yeah, he had a match against Brock Lesnar and he lost.
I think it was at some pay-per-view. I think it was No Mercy. Was it?
No, I don't think so.
Right after he faced Daniel Bryan at Survivor Series. Cause then that's when it came out that he liked wrestling against little guys because it actually make him look good. And then that's when Finn Balor ended up coming along.
Nah, I felt like it was like a Royal Rumble. I feel like it was a Royal Rumble.
I know he faced Daniel Bryan at whatchamacallit, Survivor Series.
Yeah, it was the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble 2019. Like they had a championship match at a Big Four pay-per-view. Don't play me like I'm stupid. But anyway, back to the comment, the random topic. Is there anybody else you would like to see get a push? I'm sorry for interrupting you. That shit just popped.
Um, I would love to see Liv Morgan get a push. Um, where is Bobby Roode?
Oh, he's in a tag team with Dolph Ziggler.
I know, but if I feel like I ain't seen him forever.
He was just on TV yesterday.
Even though that be on TV, it just feel like because they roles don't be that important, so it kind of seemed like they just been missing it and stuff. I would love to see. I would love to see Natalya get a push, but as a single star, I would really want for them to bring out, that gimmick. She is a fucking heart. Give her the respect that she needs. She need a dominant run as a single star, as a proper heart. I will have her turn heel and fuck saying Natalya. I will have her come out and be billed as Natalya Hart. And just go on a motherfucking tear. That's what I would like to see. But so far, I mean, that's really it. There's really nobody worthy enough to get pushed right now.
So I would love to see The Miz get one final push with that Intercontinental Championship. I feel like he's put in tremendous work. He's been with the company so long, and then he got injured doing some BS zombie shit that WWE had to push the narrative for. So I feel like he's more than deserving of one more run with that Intercontinental Championship. I'm honestly, I'm feeling a heel New Day. I want a heel New Day push, because heel New Day was tearing it up in 2016. They were tearing it up. So I would love to see a heel New Day push. Who else? I want to see, you know what? I actually want to see Doudrop get a push, not win the women's championship, but maybe insert herself into the picture. Who else? That's mainly it for real. I don't feel like anybody outside of those people are deserving of a push right now, because everything just seems kind of dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's really deserving of a push.
Yeah.
Xavier Troutman says, how would we book the 24/7 championship, and how would we book Keith Lee as a heel?
The 24/7 championship. Throw that shit away. That's how you book that shit. And Keith Lee as a heel. Ooh. See, this one, First of all, you take that damn spandex off of him. That's what you do.
Right.
Second, the question is, is he single, or do you put him in the stable? That's the question. Because if you put him in the stable, I will team him up with the Almighty. Bobby already basically whooped him, so it's like, I'm gonna team up with him, learn some shit off of him. Basically learn some stuff off of him. Have him guide you to stardom. Because if you line yourself up with him, you're gonna be the United States champion. Hell, hold that stuff for a while. Then by the time you lose it, you can go ahead and turn on him. And then that's where y'all can start that feud. You get a double face. Bobby will turn babyface. You stay the heel. Especially if it comes out, you win. You can tell the story, that protege versus the teacher story. It's so, but I can see it that way versus him just doing it off on his own. Because it's gonna have to be something like, he gonna have to, because if he go off on his own, he gonna have to go on a losing streak for him to turn heel, because of the way he's been booked. That happy go guy, smiling, it's gonna take something to push them to the edge, in which that gonna be a loser streak. But yeah, the already 24/7 title. The way y'all first bought that in, y'all bought it. Y'all had Foley introduce it. Y'all made it seem like it's gonna be like a new hardcore championship, but just to give us this kiddie shit that don't make sense, shit that's actually just taking up TV for no reason, that y'all could actually be giving to somebody else who deserve it. Yeah.
So if I'm booking the 24/7 championship, there are two ways to do it. One, like Salamander said, trash it. It's trash. Or you book it the way you've been booking it, and you just make it as entertaining as it's going to be. Because I'm not going to hold you. Reggie at times has been the most entertaining presence on Monday Night Raw. The sheer athleticism that he possesses is off the charts. And that shit is entertaining. I mean, bro can do flips from anywhere. The guy does parkour. Like, even the segments with the 24/7 championship over the past couple of weeks have been very good. I didn't like this last one with Akira Tozawa in a dog suit and R-Truth. I felt like it was really forced outside of feeling natural. Because the thing with Reggie is, even though it's 24/7 nonsense, it feels natural. You know, he doesn't feel like he was just planted there and told to do a job. It seems like, because that's the one thing, bro. The 24/7 championship is being goofy, but it has always added a sense of comic relief to a show that has been relatively bad. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know I've been entertained with Reggie in the 24/7 championship. So this is exactly how I would book it. And the next person who wins it needs to be more athletic than Reggie. Which I don't see how you do that, because the man flips like 10 feet.
Yeah. Vince McMahon is real high on Reginald. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna mess around and become, United States or Intercontinental Champion next. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't believe that for a second. Vince will never book him like that. He is great as a 24/7 champion. I do actually agree with you 100% on the Keith Lee part. I actually would put him in there with the Hurt Business and have the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley be a double champion. And I would have them run roughshod on the tag team division with the almighty as double champion.
You got him triple champion. Had the almighty carry the United States and the WWE championship, plus had them be the tag team champions.
But why wouldn't we just have the almighty be the WWE champion and the tag team champion, and Keith Lee the United States champion and a tag team champion? If we're just going to give them all the gold.
You could, yeah. Had them run the whole show.
You know what? And then Keith Lee and the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley beat up Reggie and give MVP the 24/7 championship.
And then nobody like that will stop all of the shenanigans of people trying to secretly paying because people is actually scared of them.
Exactly.
So people won't even step.
Exactly. So that's how I will book Keith Lee. I mean, you give the Hurt Business literally all the gold on Monday Night Raw, and as goofy as the 24/7 title looks, is going to be standing alongside the United States Championship and the WWE Championship, as well as the Tag Team Championships in the most dominant faction since Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So you're building up the prestige of the 24/7 championship, the little prestige it can get. Anything else you would like to add, sir?
Nah.
Next one comes from Bailey Harris. What does Raw need to do to be a better show?
What do Raw need to do to be a better show? That was from Miss Bailey.
Yes, Miss Bailey Harris.
Miss Bailey Harris is one word that you are going to get from Salamander today. And I said it earlier in the show. Booking. The booking. Throw away the booking. I don't know what the hell they've been doing, but that's all it is. You change up the booking, you get yourself a perfect show. That's what it is. The booking. The booking is every leading thing in WWE right now. If you're trying to fix anything in WWE, you start with the fucking booking. That's it. That's it.
Well, I think it's deeper than the booking. It's putting on a consistent show, and it starts with not insulting the intelligence of your fan base. We know stuff happens. We know that people get released. You don't have to act like WWE is the one all be all, one stop shop for sports entertainment or professional wrestling.
I hate that shit.
Like, we understand, one of the best things about AEW early on in the beginning of the Chris Jericho and MJF feud, which has been going on for 2 years. I
guarantee that touched on his accomplishment in WWE.
That too, but it's acknowledging that they watch the product. Like, just because I work here doesn't mean I don't watch the show.
I hate, you could be like they say Kenny Omega signed with WWE tomorrow, right?
Right.
He'll make his debut. Oh my God, it's Kenny Omega, the hottest free agent ever. Okay, what he do? How he the hottest free agent? They don't even mention what he did. That's why I hate that. They do make it seem like in wrestling, WWE, that's just it. Like, you gotta. We all know. That's why I'm saying it's not the 90s no more. We all know it's not the 90s or the 80s or the early 2000s. We all know what kayfabe is. We all know there's other companies out here. We all know there's wrestlers that bounce back and forth for other companies and stuff. You can acknowledge that. That's like you signing. That's like the big three signing somebody who used to play in the NBA. They're not gonna be like, oh well, he's the best hooper out here. They gonna acknowledge what he did. He did 16 seasons in the NBA, a 3-time NBA champion, a 4-time defense player of the year. Like, they gonna acknowledge all that stuff. They realize they are not the only basketball company out there. That's what WWE need to do. That's the thing that make that company all shitty and kitty, is the fact that they act like they act bougie, basically.
Yeah, like, bro, we can admit that we all watch the product. It's okay. You don't have to sit here and insult our intelligence, making it seem like they only see what their segment is and then they go about their day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, we get it. They're a small cog in a huge function. Like, we get it. They play a very small role in making the whole show function. But don't make us seem like they're stupid. Don't make baby faces look stupid, like Bianca going to shake Becky's hand and Becky squashing her in 26 seconds. And make your heels heel. Don't have them floating around just in the middle. Push younger talent. And here's my biggest thing. Try new stuff. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. We know it doesn't work. Come back with something else. Just because they don't get over at one thing, don't stifle their growth. Tell them to come back with something else in a month's time, and we'll try it again. Multiple chances. Sometimes people aren't going to get over like a Shawn, like a John Cena, like a Triple H. It's going to take multiple attempts to find something to make it work. Give them chances. Give them a long leash. And then if you feel as though it's not working, yank the leash back. Tell them to come back with something else. The problem isn't that WWE doesn't try. The problem is when they try and fail, that's it. Instead of sending them back to the drawing board and telling them to come back with something better. You have to challenge your superstars to be bigger than what they're portraying. And if you never let them get a second chance because the first time they tried to get over it didn't work, then you never truly know what you have. A la Malachi Black, a la Miro, John Moxley, Chris Jericho. They thought Chris Jericho was washed up. You never know what you have
until it's gone.
You never know what you don't have because you don't let them do what they need to do. WWE and Monday Night Raw in particular is 3 hours. Like Salamander says, give some of these women more time. Make Shayna Baszler look like the killer she was when she first debuted on the main roster. She's the only person, men or women, to have eliminated everybody in the chamber. Now she hasn't won a singles match in almost 8 months. Give these women the appropriate time. Give them proper storylines. Give proper storylines. And as Salamander says so many times on this podcast, better booking. Don't have your champions lose. Or if they do lose, have it mean something. Don't just have them lose just to lose. A la the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. That's what Raw needs to do to be a better show. Anything else you would like to add, sir?
No, that's all. Raw is horrible. Raw ain't even an A show no more. Raw ain't been an A show since like 2012. 2016 for real, I would say.
Bro, Raw is like the worst show of the week for me. And that is saying something. Because I watch it all, bro. And the fact that the flagship show for WWE is like 4th or 5th on my list, I genuinely have more enjoyment watching an Impact Wrestling episode than I do a Monday Night Raw episode.
I would rather watch Ring of Honor.
There you go. Next one comes from Sammy So Benjamin. What call-ups would we like to see?
The call-ups. So, I will say Samoa Joe, but all they're gonna do is release him again. They call him up. They're not gonna use him to their full capability. Most of these people was on the main roster that just went back, like Austin Theory. It's time for real. I think all of the OGs of NXT should get caught up. So the Kyle O'Reilly, Roger Strong, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Pete Dunne. I think they should be the ones to get caught up. I could see Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. They've been there for a while. It's time for Ember Moon to come back up. You could bring her up with her tag. That's how you put a new face on the tag team division.
Oh, well, her tag team partner was Shotzi. But Shotzi's now with Tegan.
Bullshit. Io Shirai, I would love to see her get caught up. That's really it. I really don't. There's really there's really no WWE is at its all-time low. If this was WWE last year, it was so many faces that you could see get caught up. But it's like now, I don't want them to get caught up because if they do, I feel like they're not gonna get used to that full capability. Them people that I named, I would like to see them.
I would love to see the OGs, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and the entire way. So that would include Austin Theory, Candice LeRae, and the soon-to-be Mr. Dexter Loomis to the family when him and Indy Hartwell get married on September 14th. I would love to see those superstars on the main roster. I'm gonna say keep Ember Moon at NXT only because she lost 9 months running around chasing the 24/7 geeks, and that goes to show you where Vince McMahon thought of her. So let's not put her back on the main roster. If I'm so mad they released Mercedes Martinez because she would have been a staple on that Raw women's division. I would have loved to see a Mercedes Martinez versus a Charlotte. Mercedes Martinez versus a Nia Jax. She just gives me like Damian Priest badass vibes. But they released her. Would have loved to see her on Monday Night Raw. Give me Io Shirai. I would love to see her on SmackDown. Dakota Kai would love to see her on SmackDown as well. Give me Raquel Gonzalez when she drops the title. Put her on Monday Night Raw. Have her go up there with the Land of the Giants. They already got Tegan Knox. I would honestly love to see Hit Row on SmackDown beefing with the Bloodline. I think that would be an excellent black African American rivalry, as long as the writers aren't the ones that's writing it and it's left to between Paul Heyman and Hit Row, where Paul Heyman approves of Hit Row's promos.
Right.
So I would love to see that program. Outside of that, that's really all I want to see. I don't want to see Kyle O'Reilly up on the main roster because he would just be a jobber. I think he would be like a Drew Gulak on the main roster. That's it, honestly. That's it. Anybody else that you would like to see on the main roster, Salamander?
Not at all.
Moving on to our last one, our last random topic. This comes from Ian Lamb. Goes along with what Miss Bailey Harris asked us earlier, but he asked, "How would we book Raw?"
How would we book Raw? Change up the booking.
I mean, we get that, but details on how your booking would be different.
All you got to do, stop with the rematches. Stop with the repeated faces. Y'all got so many people on your roster y'all can use, but y'all not using. That's where you start off at. Start off with the different type of booking and not giving us the same faces over and over. I shouldn't see the same people I seen last week is the exact same people I see this week. That's really it. I mean, everything starts with the booking. You can book the wrestlers better, the shows get better. That's really it.
If I'm booking Raw, I'm always booking the Almighty, whatever he's doing in the main event. My tag team division is getting more than just one tag team match on it a night. Honestly, I'm putting about 2 or 3 tag team matches on there. My women are getting no less than 30 to 45 minutes every show. I have enough talented women on this roster that I can do that I can give the women 30 to 45 minutes. There's no reason to why all of the women's segments on the show combined are 10 minutes, 15 minutes. There's no reason why that's even somewhat a thing. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me that women's wrestling isn't a draw, because NWA put on Empower and it was a top 5 pay-per-view. So I know women's wrestling is a draw. My women get no less than 30 minutes. And I'm pushing it. I'm really wanting them to get 35 to 40 minutes on every show or on Monday Night Raw. If I have a face United States champion, we're going to do, of course, a United States Open challenge every week. He will take challenges from not only heels, but also faces who think they can give my United States champion a run for his money. My tag team champions will be calling out their next challengers, because I want a tag team champion. I want my tag team champions to be fighting champions. I want them calling out their next opponents. And I want the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley and MVP to do whatever the hell they want to do, because they've earned that type of leeway. Whatever you guys want to do, you go ahead and do it. I don't give a fuck. Just come back and tell me. It's not hard to book Monday Night Raw. Just get rid of the inconsistent booking, the repeated rematches, the god-awful storylines, and the terrible women's division. That honestly is not terrible. You guys just don't give a fuck as the writing team, and you refuse to give it any time to get over. Else, we've seen Charlotte versus Rhea, Charlotte versus Asuka, Asuka versus Rhea, Charlotte versus Nia. I mean, rematch after rematch after rematch. Nia just pinned Charlotte. Now she's got a championship match on this upcoming Monday. They're doing a gauntlet eliminator to determine the number 1 contenders for the tag team championships. Why do we have to give every team a chance, Salamander? Why can't it just be the 2 hottest teams at the moment battle it out for the number 1 contender spot? Or better yet, we got 4 weeks, or not 4 weeks, 3 weeks until Extreme Rules. Why do we have to jumpstart the storyline now? Why can't the storyline be this team getting, or these 2 teams, or 2 teams battling other teams until they finally meet to become the number 1 contender with the champions just watching on? Why do we have to get every tag team involved? Why does every tag team have to take a loss in the night? It doesn't make any sense. It's overexposure of a tag team division that doesn't need that much exposure. Am I making sense?
One of the most important things I think WWE need to stop doing is so many fucking pay-per-views. It should be no reason why it's a pay-per-view 3 weeks from now, and then 2 weeks after that pay-per-view is another one. It's too fucking much. I think that's what's hurting them too. It's just too much. But that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of the D&B podcast. We would like to thank everyone for the 1,000 subscribers and many more that's to come. Everyone to be on the lookout for great content coming. If you guys like the Chris Benoit video that I did, there will be more videos like that coming soon, very soon. There will be more Beyond Kayfabe's coming soon, so everyone be on the lookout for all of those. And just thank you, man. This is a huge accomplishment We love our fans. We love our subscribers, man. And thank y'all for getting us here. Now, the next step is to get us to that 100K. So, now that we there, let's just keep striving. Once again, I'm Camilio Salamander and my co-host KB the Mark, and we will see you on the next one.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.